Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. There was a point in my life where I really didn't think I'd ever get past 5. And the fact that we're here now is really sick. So as I've been saying, I've been asking you guys for questions, and we're going to answer every single question. Every single one. It will be answered. We are going to answer every question. There's a lot of questions. Just to give you an idea, I've put these questions on like a slideshow for me to keep track of them, so I'm not doing a bunch of scrolling. And like, yeah, there's 100 slides, and some of them have multiple questions or multiple comments on them. So there's a lot we have to go through here today, but we're gonna answer every single one because I said that. I'd recommend treating this video kind of like a podcast, or like just something to have on in the background. Maybe open another tab, scroll through your phone, do something else, clean your house while you're listening to this. Don't treat this like a normal typical video for me. This isn't going to be super highly edited. There's not going to be anything crazy. Treat this like a podcast. Treat this as just like someone talking at you for probably, this is probably going to be like an hour. And I want to apologize in advance if I didn't get to your question. I'm recording this at 10 o'clock at night on Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. So if you asked your question after probably like 9:30 EST even, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I really am sorry if I didn't see it though. So first question that a lot of people seem to ask. This question's asked by David Semperer, already messing up the first name, 464, Wacky Z99, Omega Saber Killer, Angel Cadence, Kamen Ride Dogi, Calvin. Love you, Calvin. You're the bomb. Not to give him special treatment, but Calvin's my friend. SHMIB 5098. I don't know if I should go by the @ or the name. I'm just gonna go with Dennis. Gigan Foz 1862, Toku Boys Studios, and SFCC Justin Smith. They all essentially ask what got me into Toku, and also what got me into making YouTube videos about it, or just my YouTube channel in general. So like, obviously I'm American. I was raised on Power Rangers. Power Rangers was always around from when I was like a child. I don't remember a time in my life where Power Rangers really wasn't around. Dino Thunder is the first season that I really remember watching, or I remember like being on. I really realistically I remember them all being on. Every season from Dino Thunder previous was on air, because I know for a fact I caught reruns of at least all of them, where I had VHS tapes and stuff from each season. So like it kind of feels like they've just always been around, I guess, except for like Wild Force and Alien Rangers. I discovered those much later in life, maybe more like middle school, but like still around the time I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, around that time in my life, I had discovered the internet. And the way I used to treat the internet as a kid is I would basically type in my interest, like whatever thing I was into at the time, into Google. Like I would type in Pokemon or Ninja Turtles or like whatever, and obviously Power Rangers was one of those. I discovered that there were Japanese Power Rangers, so I would start Googling Japanese Power Rangers. Then eventually I discovered it was called Sentai, so I started typing in Sentai, and then that led me down this rabbit hole. The Sentai that was airing when I got into it was Shinkenger, so that's always going to have a special weird place in my heart. And then my first Kamen Rider was Forze. And when I made my YouTube channel, I didn't initially want it to be Toku related. To be honest with you, I've loved Toku my entire life, but I've always been so fucking embarrassed about liking it, because it's like, it's very nerdy and weird. And there's this weird cultural shift in the 2010s where like liking nerdy stuff was just cool, but for whatever reason, like Toku was just not one of the nerdy things that was deemed cool enough to be like neat, I guess. So I was always really ashamed of it, and so I really didn't want my channel to be about it. And then I grew up and got over it. But my first video about Toku, I think, was Mystic Knights, and I think that's the first video you'll find on my channel now, because I think I got rid of all the non-Toku related videos. And that video basically kind of set me on this track of being a Toku tuber. And honestly, I'm really thankful that I've gone down this path. If I'm being honest, I'm really happy making videos about this, because You know, back when I was trying to be a variety sort of commentary like YouTuber or whatever, or like vlogger or whatever you want to call it, like I really struggled to come up with like interesting video ideas. But the minute I sort of allowed myself to be fully invested into like Toku, I have limitless ideas. I could talk about these shows forever. Like I said, this is my favorite thing in the world, so it's hard for me to not have ideas of things I would want to talk about. I have so many video ideas, and and not just that, but it's just like it's cool to be able to like be more open about my passion and be more open about expressing that and how much I really do love this and care about it, and to find people that really enjoy it. So like, yeah, I guess that's sort of been the journey. I guess what's kept me going is being able to like express this thing that I've always been really ashamed of liking with people, and have it like actually be reciprocated, and like just I don't know, that's it's huge for me. I feel like if I didn't talk about Toku anymore, I wouldn't be making videos. Obviously, like, it comes to my mind every so often of like wanting to make videos on other things, but Toku's like the main thing that I'm like interested in. So I don't think I would want to make videos on anything else really. So the next question that was asked by a couple people comes from Show Me Your Moves, Omega Saber Killer, Random Dude 709, Digital Thunder, Abyss Hope KL3QS, and Cat ND Michael 4448. They basically ask what my favorite Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Power Rangers series are. I'm just grouping them all together. And this is a really hard question for me to answer because, like, again, like I said, I really like these shows. So I feel like my answer changes daily. So for me to be like, to be able to give you one straight answer is really difficult. Power Rangers, it's anything from like Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, In Space, or Jungle Fury on any given day. That could be the answer. For Sentai, it could be anything from Shinkenger to Q Ranger to Kaku Ranger. It's probably be any of those three. And then Kamen Rider is a little bit easier. It's either going to be Fourze or Gaim. Those are going to be my answers. This next set of questions boils down to basically what I would do if I were to make my own Kamen Rider or Sentai season. I'm just going to go with Sentai because I find that to be a lot more fun than Kamen Rider. This question was asked by SFCC Justin Smith, Kamen Rider RX, Hungry Hangry, Zach M1029, The Project Core HD, Pyro DXD, Harry Dunn 8447, Stanley Kimball, and Klutz Arts. So for a while, I really wanted an Insect Sentai. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since like Go Busters, I think, when they introduced Beat and Stag Buster, I really wanted an Insect Sentai. For whatever reason, I thought that would be a really cool concept. Now that we've had King Ilger, I'd kind of feel like it'd be lame to do another Insect Sentai this soon. I think what would be cool, everyone wants an underwater Sentai. So I'm not going to give that answer because I feel like that's the easiest answer. Actually, someone else asked this question. Where is it? Ryu Dragon Kai on Twitter had asked if I were to want to make a yokai Sentai, what yokai would I pick? And I think that's because I briefly mentioned one in a video, or wanting one in a video a little while back, and I think that would be my answer. I'll be very transparent. I've been thinking about this question a lot because I've seen a lot of comments about it. The color combination would have to be something a little out there, but not too out there to where it doesn't look like Sentai anymore, if that makes sense. Like, I would want like red and blue. They have to be on every Sentai. It's imperative that they are. Am I in focus? Hold up. Let's do orange instead of yellow, green, and then purple, violet, whatever you want to call that color. There's a lot of contention as to what the fuck that color is. I'm gonna call it violet, but it's a lot of people like to call it purple. I'm not in focus. Holy shit. I put me on the big screen today, and that was the biggest mistake I made. Yeah, so let's do a red Kitsune. I think there's like red Kitsune. I think there's like a sea cow yokai. I'm gonna look that up. It's called a Beton, which is like a cowfish. I think that'd be cool for blue. Like a crossbreed between a fish and a cow could make for a really cool mecha. I feel like they're all gonna be more animal yokai type things because I feel like that just makes the mecha cooler. Let's do green. Green kind of has to be a Kappa. I feel like it'd be weird if it wasn't. So let's do green Kappa, orange Tanuki for obvious reasons. And then I read something about this spider yokai. What is it? It's called a Joroguma. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And it's like you can transform between like a woman and like a spider. And I have a really cool idea. This is where I wish I could draw. If that would become the head, like a woman's head coming from like the spider, like the behind of the spider kind of turns into a woman's face, and then like the legs become like hair almost type thing. Maybe you could like tie it back into like a samurai bun, because you'd have to do like a samurai ninja sort of theme with this regardless, because this is about like Japanese culture, right? Yeah. And then for the 6th, let's do a Tengu, and it could be like a big bird that turns into like the humanoid component, so that makes it feel more like a Tengu, because I think Tengu are like crosses between birds and humans or something like that. And the color, let's make it black. I don't think we've had a black 6th, unless you want to count like Shadow Ranger or like the Phantom Ranger. Let's do like black. And then Zach M had mentioned, what was his mentioned? Random item. Which random item would you like to see be the basis of a 6th Ranger weapon? Bonus points if it's a common household appliance. And this isn't really like a common household appliance, but I'm pretty sure there's an umbrella yokai, and I think that'd be like a cool weapon for a 6th. Like a gun, sword, umbrella thing. That could be cool. And for the changer, let's do a lantern, because I think there's a lantern yokai too. So let's do a lantern. I always like it when they do changers that aren't like wrist changers or like cell phones. So I feel like a lantern could be kind of neat. This next question comes from Slick Rider 7397. He asked what my favorite new gen Sentai is. I'm assuming you mean like Reiwa Sentai, so like Zenkaiger Forward. And what's difficult about that is that like Dawn Brothers, King Oger, and like Boom Booger might be some of my favorite Sentai of all time right now. Like they're, I don't know, call it recency bias or whatever, but they're some of my favorite seasons that I've ever seen. I don't really like Zenkaiger, so that would definitely not be the answer by default. I think it would have to go to Dawn Brothers. I really like Dawn Brothers. Dawn Brothers was like my favorite show I've seen in a really long time, out of both Sentai and Kamen Rider. Really, Dawn Brothers is an amazing show. I think that would have to be my favorite. All right, this is a lot of vowels close together, so I'm gonna try my best to say this properly. Asval Laolius, I hope I'm saying that right, asks, are you gonna bring back the NCPR series? And so for those of you who don't know, NCPR is short for Not the Power Rangers. It's a series I used to do on the channel way back in the day. That was the Mystic Knights video that I did. And I don't know, I have such this weird relationship with that series where it's like I'm very nostalgic for it and I don't want to fuck it up. And I also feel like if I were to do it again, I would want to redo all of the old videos and like in a very new way, because I have a very much a new style now. But I also don't want to replace those videos because they're very special to me. So I don't know. I really can't answer that question. If I do bring it back, it'd have to be different. It would be in a different way, because I feel like my style has changed. And not just that, but I feel like the show's sort of outgrown it. I feel like as time goes on, less and less people ask about it. There was a while where that was the only thing people would ask me for, and now I feel like as time has passed, less and less people expect that from me. More people want like reactions or explained videos or over explained videos, like the live man up video that did really well. Like, I don't know if there's room for NTPR on the channel anymore, you know. I don't know if there's demand for it. I'd like to see in the comments. Also, I want to ask anyone, please provide your answer to any of these questions or your thoughts on it, my answers to any of these questions or whatever in the comments. That's what this is all about, is like a big discussion between all of us. So please, I would love to see answers to the questions that I've been answering, or your thoughts to my answers. That's what this is all about for me. The Biggest Sniff asks 2 questions. The first being, realistically, how many unmorphed Red Rangers could you clear? I'm assuming he means in a fight. And then he says wedgies permitted. Wedgies feels like fetish content, and I'm not huge on that. Sorry. So I'm not I don't know if I'm going to talk about wedgies. I'm sorry, brother. I'm not saying you're weird. I just feel like that'd be weird for other people. But I thought hard about this question because Jason was ripped. Jason in MMPR was ripped. He was swole. And then the guy who replaced him, Rocky, was also swole. Then the Red Ranger after that was an alien. And then the Red Ranger after that was JDF, who is one of objectively the greatest martial artists of all time. Not even inside the Power Rangers community. Jason David Frank was one of the greatest martial artists to like ever live. He has a really impressive record. If you've never looked it up, he's incredible. So no, TJ was ripped. Andros is an alien with like telekinetic powers or whatever. I don't think I could take him. Everyone's seen that picture of Leo. No. Carter Grayson is a firefighter. So he has really great lung stamina and just really in shape. I'm nowhere close to that. I might be able to take Wes. And that's just because he's like this sheltered rich kid. I might be able to take him. I might be able to take Wes. Maybe Wes. Cole was raised in the jungle. Shane was raised by ninjas. Connor has super speed. Before super speed, I might have a chance, but post super speed, I don't think so. Jack, no way in hell. Nick has magic. Mac is a robot. Casey learned martial arts. Scott Truman is the son of an army kid. I don't think I could handle that. Jaden is a samurai. No. I saw the way Troy fucked up those water bottles. He'll fuck me up like that too. I don't want the smoke. Brody is the son of the world's greatest ninja somehow. I don't think so. I don't think I can handle that. Yeah, I really feel like it's just Wes. All right, I feel like it's just I could kick Wes's ass, but that's about it. And then he also asks, which of the 5-man could you riz the quickest? I don't know if I've never seen Live Man. I don't know if I could riz any of them. I'd assume, let's look up the 5-man. Let's have fun with this question. I'm not going to be silly. Judging based off this picture, I feel like Blue has... I have my best chances with Blue for whatever reason. This next one asks, like, if I could join a Sentai team, what Sentai would I join and what color would I be? I feel like everyone wants to be a red or a 6th. I feel like that's like the default answer because those two are like the coolest. I don't think I have the personality of a red or a 6th, even though I would really like to. I feel like my personality is more of like a green or a black. And I don't know if that's just like a self-image thing or whatever, but I really feel like I truly believe that if I was on a Sentai or Power Rangers team, I'd be a green or a black ranger. And if the vibes don't match, let me know, but I don't feel like I need to explain that, really. I feel like it makes sense. Crow2473 and PyroDXD asked that. Smackaroony 7001 asks, which Sentai has the most interesting vibes to you? I guess interesting is kind of specific to shows I haven't seen, because I wouldn't really be interested anymore if I've seen them and know them. Like Live Man was a really interesting Sentai, but now I've seen it and I'm not really like, whoa, that's super interesting. Because I know the show now. Shinkenger was that way at first too. I would probably say now would be like Hurricaneger and Abba Ranger. I really want to see those shows. I haven't watched them yet. Not completely. I've seen like half of each, really. And then Bioman and Flashman have really crazy vibes that I want to check out. So those are probably the most vibey ones. Matt Word 6524 asks, here's a question. As someone who's recently started watching Sentai, I finished King Elger halfway through Shinkenger, watching Boom Boomger as it releases. What past Sentai would you recommend for people just starting out to watch? I'll give you one from each decade. Live Man is great in the 80s. It's the only 80s Sentai I've seen, but it's a great show. Kaku Ranger is my personal favorite 90s Sentai, and I feel like if you liked Shinkenger, you might like Kaku Ranger, potentially. I don't know. They have similar vibes. And then for the early 2000s, I kind of struggle with this one. A lot of people really like Time Ranger, so I would say go with that. And then for the 2010s, you watch Shinkenger, which a lot of people really like. I'd say watch Go Busters. Go Busters is a really good show. I really like Go Busters. And then today, modern era, you should watch Dawn Brothers. If you've seen King Elger and Boom Boomger, I think Dawn Brothers, like, it's the next proper step, you know? 8 Grant Rants Unedited 8 asks a lot of questions. If you could choose a brand new Sentai concept, what would it be? We talked about this. Imagine you were given the keys to Power Rangers. The future is in your hands now. What would you do? I would have a show running right now. That's what I would do. I don't care what it is. I don't care if we adapt a Sentai. I don't care if we don't adapt a Sentai. I don't care if we do a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers animated series. I would have a show on the air right now because I just miss the TV show. That's all it really boils down to for me. Favorite Ranger of each color? Andros Red, TJ Blue, Ziggy Green, Tommy Oliver Black, Dustin Yellow, Corone Pink, Trent for 6th, Broad Strokes 6th, and I'm not in focus. What was your first Sentai series? Not PR, we said Shinkenger. Favorite theme song? Shinkenger probably has my favorite theme song. Best New Ranger / intro arc. I want to say Green Sai and Black Bison, but I feel like that's really recency bias speaking. Ho-Oh Soldier has like an amazing introduction episode. I think that's probably the best answer I could give you right now. Will your future wedding have anything Tokusatsu related? Probably not. Probably not. Fuck, marry, kill. Insert season. Don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel comfortable doing fuck, marry, kills with real actors. Seasons like fuck, marry, kill. I'd fuck Dawn Brothers the show if that's what you're asking. I don't know. What if your child is gay? I feel like this is a joke question, but I'm just gonna answer it legitimately. I'd probably say that's what's up and like give him like a fist bump or something. I know some people would argue that I probably shouldn't include this in the video because it's like they're trying to fuck with me, but like I also feel like sort of answering every question and then excluding this one kind of validates what the person was thinking of like, oh man, if I say gay, that's a crazy thing to say, right? And it's like, it's not. People are gay, they exist, and a lot of gay people are really cool. It's like, who cares? It's not crazy, all right? If you only had to pick one ranger from your top 5 teams and put them into a team together, who would you pick? And that was asked by Hayden Reviews Custom Combos. My last answer, not the one about the gay son, the one before that, that would be my team. That'd probably be my team. Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, friend of the channel, love you, asked what's your favorite rider / Sentai henshin poses? That's a hard question to answer. Ju-Oger has a really good one. I feel like I like Ju-Ogers. The way like Yamato has a sword holding up and he's kind of like cracking the whip and it kind of feels like he's like an animal tamer. I like that. And then he also asked, what's your go-to absolute GOAT rider / Sentai hero? I really like Kengo from Forze. He's probably like, no, Yusuke Godai is like objectively like the best, most ideal hero, right? I like Yusuke a lot. Red Nimpo Entertainment 8441 asks, what's your least favorite aspect of your favorite Toku and vice versa? My least favorite aspect of my favorite Toku. My least favorite aspect about, let's just pick a random show that I really like Q Ranger. My least favorite aspect about that show is kind of two-folded, where it's like I love how they're able to give so much attention to every character considering how many there are, and how like I feel like there's so many arcs in that show, each of which are sort of tied to the specific like a very specific set of characters. But I also do wish that there were characters in that show like Spada or Hammy or Raptor that kind of got a little more attention, or like if Garu was just a better character in general. I think that's the best I can kind of answer this on the spot. I'd really have to think about it more. Mick Jimster 4845 asks, do you think Power Rangers can be mainstream again, as in respected? And that's a hard thing to answer, because no one ever thought like Iron Man would be like a respected comic book, movie franchise, but here we are, right? I'm not never gonna say never, but I feel like we're fighting like an uphill battle, right? And he also asks, do you say shift into turbo when you enter your car? Sometimes I do. A lot of the times I do. When I'm in a goofy, silly mood, I'll say shift into turbo. Tev, the press by guy, something. How would you feel about a future Gingaman crossover / special where the 134th Gingaman team takes over? Be cool. I'd love that. Like a passing of the torch type thing. That'd be cool. What is your biggest fear? Dying. The concept of dying and there being nothing is terrifying to me. The fact that it just ends and I won't even be aware that it's over. What's your favorite season of Lost? Never seen it. Never really seen it. Never checked out Lost. But thank you for asking. Nunya Business 136. That's a fun name. Extra Terra Stress, I think is what you're going for. Would you like to see a 7th Ranger in the vein of Stay Caesar, Don Murasame, Oku Agata Oger, etc. in Bakuage Sentai Bone Bunger? And what would you like to see done with the concept in the future? I would love to see one. I like this sort of 7th Ranger thing. I'm always a fan. I'm always of the opinion that the more Rangers, the more fun, really. Spread the love. And I like this sort of like evil, sort of like rival Ranger archetype that's happening. And I feel like the reason why that's a thing is sort of in response to the fact that like 6th Rangers are now kind of like commonplace expected. Like there was a while where like 6th Rangers weren't really always guaranteed, like Go-Go 5 or like Kaku Ranger didn't really have a 6th, you know, and these are shows that are after G Ranger. Turbo Ranger, or not Turbo Ranger, Car Ranger didn't have a 6th Ranger. And I feel like so now everyone's like expecting 6th Rangers. So now like this 7th thing is to sort of shake things up even more. And I think they're doing that really well. And I don't think Bakuage Sentai Boom Booger needs one necessarily, because then once you really set the trend, then it's going to be kind of like 6th Rangers eventually, where it's like you're always going to be expecting one, right? So it doesn't need one, but it'd be cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it'd be really nice. And concept I like to see done with this in the future. Full transparency again, I've seen this comment before, so I've had some time to think about it. And I think having a Ranger that's on the main team betray the main team and become that evil Ranger would be really cool. Like, sort of think like Ollie in Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury, but a little bit done differently, where it's like a Sentai team. And you spend episodes 1 through 15, and the cast is red, blue, yellow, green, pink, for easiness, the standard Sentai colors, right? And then episode 15 to like 17, 18 is an arc of the Green Ranger like turning evil, not turning evil, but like sort of going against the team. Like maybe his philosophies are different, maybe he thinks differently or something like that. And he eventually like discovers, like he eventually just like goes rogue, right? And he separates himself from the team. And then like that next episode that he's like fully separated, they have to sort of fill in this role with a Black Ranger or a Violet, whatever, basically like a new Ranger. So you still have a core team of 5, and Green was initially a part of that team of 5, but he left, and now they refilled it with the Black or whatever. But the Black Ranger wouldn't be the 6th Ranger. There'd still be a 6th Ranger. You know what I mean? I feel like that'd be a really cool concept. I think betraying the team, like being a part of the team and eventually betraying them, is a cool way to do it. Joseph GM 1 year asks, what is the lamest villain that you've ever seen in Kamen Rider so far? There's no real lame ones. I don't think there's none there I'm like, damn, you're lame. I don't think I have anyone I dislike, really. Maybe that love game bugster thing from X8. I think he was kind of whatever. His shtick wasn't really that funny to me. Magnum Hopper asks, what is your favorite Tokusatsu episode? The one you'll love till the end of time, the one you will cherish forever. I don't think I love any Tokusatsu episode that much, but I really like that episode of Build where the one after he killed a dude, and Sento kind of has to come to terms with the fact that he killed someone while he was in Hazard, and he's like afraid to transform. I think that's a really good episode. I think that's like that episode should be studied in film class. That's how good I think it is. Docville YC6KF asks, what's your favorite type of pasta? I don't really have a big opinion on this. I'm gonna go Angel Hair. Burger Freak asks, what's your social security number? 13. R4N638 asks, is your favorite color really purple? Yes. Do 2 and Buster Kaiser ask, essentially sort of the same question of, what makes a good mecha for you? If you have one that's your favorite or top 3, And what mecha do you own? I feel like this is a sort of similar question. I'm gonna show sort of like background footage of all the mecha I have. They're all on this shelf. I also have Artillatron and Orion from Q Ranger. This is my favorite mecha of all time. I actually got it ready for this question. And I think what it exemplifies is like the way it transforms, the fact that it's a triple changer with the emblems and the animal modes and this. The fact that you could just like hide the sword and like sheath it, and that you could like do this with the shield and you have options. Like, I think the more things that a toy can do without being like weird, the better. Yeah, I hope that answers the question right, man. I'm getting a little tired. Rat Toku asks, what's your favorite memory or experience as a creator? My favorite memory is the day I hit 2,000 subscribers. I remember that really well. I remember it very fondly. Have you seen Arc? Thoughts? I made a video on it. You can check it out. It's probably going to be in the card here or there or whatever. It's a great video. Not a lot of people have seen it. So if you want to go run those numbers up for me, that'd be very appreciated. He also asked, what's your favorite cuisine? Indian food. Love Indian food. Your favorite number? 14. And what is your favorite episode of Toku? We already answered that. It's the one with Build. I'll give you another one. It's the episode of Gaim where he's lying on the bed after fighting Zangetsu for the first time and kind of goes into another existential crisis. Really big fan of existential crises. Nunya Business also asks, what's your thoughts on Ultraman Rising? It's great. It's great. It's a great movie. Emmy's is really adorable and fun and cute and whatever. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it, even to people who don't watch Toku. I think it's a great movie. William Kim 8487, it says, if you were forced, abducted, transported to live in an Ultraman show, which one would it be in? Would you join their defense force? You'd still be aware that the new world you live in is an Ultraman show. Ideally, I wouldn't like to live in any of them. If I'm being very honest, I'd live in any of them, really, I guess, and just live in America and live my life as I already do. All right, that's what I would do. I would do that because I feel like if I just stay out of Japan and mind my business, I'll be pretty okay. Josh QJ2ZU asks, favorite rapper? T-Pain. T-Pain is my favorite musician. Love T-Pain. What do you think about the Sentai 20-year specials? Do you think writers should also do 10-year and 20-year specials? I think they should. I think it's awesome. I think it's an awesome way to spotlight specific teams, especially ones that have anniversaries coming up. I think it's awesome. I love it. Felix Stream. That's a fun name. It's a cool name. I like that username. Asks, what's like your favorite food or snack? Chicken korma. I really love Indian food. What's your fave game and why? Pokemon? I'm just gonna go Pokemon, period. Because we'd be here all day if I try to think of other games. When more Let's Plays? I thought about maybe doing Super Legends at some point, maybe for like another live stream or something. But I also think doing I also want to stream that beat 'em up that should be coming out soon for Power Rangers. I want to stream that too. I think that's cool. Animal. Dolphins. I'm a huge dolphin fan because they're like smart. I feel like they live on this higher plane of existence that we can't reach. I love dolphins, dude. What superpower would you like to have most? I've thought about this critically for a while, and I feel like any of them would get me put in a laboratory. I feel like if I had the ability to shapeshift, I'd be able to do it in a really subtle way, like, and also in ways that you wouldn't even notice because I wouldn't even be me. So I do that. Yokai Fan Yan asks, what Toku do you find overrated? I'm not the biggest fan of Zyuohger or Zenkaiger, honestly, but I understand that people like them, so I'm not gonna give them too much shit. And I know the same writer for those shows. I know they have the same writer, and I know that person also wrote Loopat, and I also really like Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger. So I don't know. I just, those two shows I'm not the biggest fan of. How Win BC9SO asks, what countries do you want to visit in the future? Japan's like a big one, for obvious reasons. Like I'd love to visit like a Toku toy store, like a traditional brick and mortar Toku used toy store. I'd love to see like a Sentai museum. I would love to see a Sentai or Kamen Rider live show in person. Those are all on my bucket list at some point in my life. But to not be a weeaboo, I would say I'd love to go to like Tahiti. Saddleazar 346 asks, who's your favorite Smiling Friends character? Never seen Smiling Friends. I hate to tell you. I'm sorry. User QJ8LU50P6I asks, why does Geo get way too much hate? I really hate to inform you, man. You asked this question like I'm on your side. I'm the hater. I'm the exact guy that you're asking why we hate it. I'm just not a fan of the show. I think it's really poorly written, and I think that the main character is just not good. I think he's not a good main character, and I think Gates is really weirdly written about how he should probably kill this guy, but chooses not to the entire time. I think there's a lot of really big problems with that show. Fireman Fitri and Broadulo Official 6354 ask what my favorite 6th Rangers are. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I have a tier list about this coming up, so I'm going to be... I don't want to spoil that video because I've literally filmed this tier list already. But I'm just going to tell you that the main one is Trent. Trent is my favorite 6th Ranger, so we're just going to leave it there. Brodulo, or however you pronounce that, I'm really sorry, also asked what my favorite Kamen Rider final form is in Heisei 1, 2, and Reiwa. Heisei 1 is probably... Do they have final forms? Oh no, Heisei 1, not Showa. Probably Deno, where he learns to fight on his own. Heisei 2 would have to be Forze. Or no, it'd have to be Build Genius. And then Reiwa would have to be Geats Mark 9. What's your favorite TV show and movie, and why did you start YouTube? We already answered the YouTube thing. My favorite TV show is Power Rangers. But not Power Rangers, probably be like Ninja Turtles, or like I really like old sitcoms. It's probably maybe like Happy Days or like Family Matters or something like that, or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Badass Shadow 5332 asks, I love this. Who do you think is the best Red Ranger in the whole Super Sentai franchise? I really like Takeru. I understand not a lot of people really care for him. I also think Marvelous is great. I love Marvelous. Why do you think Boon Red always wears the same clothes? This is a reference to a video recently. And I think you actually, I think Badass Shadow actually answered this in the comments, or maybe it was someone else and I'm forgetting. But someone had brought up the point that canonically Taya is a billionaire. So like, it's not a crazy idea that he would own multiple sets of the same jacket. So I didn't think about that, and that's probably the answer. Favorite secondary rider, minus Cross Z. I hate to have, I want to steal that answer so badly because I think that is objectively the best secondary rider we've ever had. Kurokuro 2518, I really have to agree with you. So you almost thought I wasn't gonna read the name. I read the name. I don't want to steal your answer though, but I think that's my answer. But for runner-ups, I'm gonna give Meteor and Beast. I think they're really great secondary riders too. Iron America asks 2 questions. He says, the morphing grid comes down on you and you can receive the powers of one ranger. Which ranger would it be and why? This includes all rangers from across the spectrum of PR and Sentai, even comic book and video game exclusives. I'd pick Aqua Red. I feel like that'd be cool. I'd be the face of Aqua Red. That's just a cool thing to say, I feel. And they also ask, how would you fix the way PR handled the 30th anniversary? And honestly, I don't think they did that bad of a job. I think they did okay, all things considered. I think I would have liked a longer series. That's about it. User FM3RX30Q4I asks, you're working on a new video? Always. That's literally where all of my free time goes. I work 2 jobs and I do YouTube. If I'm not working, I'm working on a new video. That's all I do. That's all I do with my life. Awkwardly Animates 633 asks, which Kid Sentai member annoys you most? None of them. Ironically, I don't think any of them are bad. I actually really like Kid members. I think they're cool. I think they add new dynamics to the team. I wish I could tell you they annoy me, but they really don't. What is something you miss from Heisei Rider / Sentai shows? I miss the way early Heisei felt like telenovelas almost. Burning Bread King, if I had to answer your question, that'd be the main thing, is that I miss the way early Heisei really felt like hard drama, story centric like shows. I miss that feeling. I feel like Build and Gaim kind of almost recaptured it, but not quite. I'd really like that feeling again. Jethro Sarda said, I hope I'm saying that right, I'm so sorry, says, my personal favorite roll call is the King Oja roll call. So what's your favorite roll call from any Super Sentai series? I like the Geki Ranger one and the Go-Onger one. I think they're cool. Do you think there should be another Versus Sentai series like Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger? And if so, what theme would you like it to be? I like the idea of doing sort of something similar to that, and also like what Go Sager did, and maybe doing like a land team, an air team, and a sea team. So maybe like 3 verses, and then maybe you could do like a 6th Ranger where like they oversee, kind of like the Avatar, they oversee the 3 forces. You could do like 3 birds, and that's like red, blue, yellow, and then you do like 3 underwater animals, and that's like it's like green, violet, and orange. And then you do like 3 bears, and they're land. Obviously, that's like the land team, but they're black, white, and then gray. And gray is like a panda. I think that'd be cool. If you could make any crossover between any of the Sentai Rangers, which Ranger would you want to involve in your crossover? I like the idea of when they do teams that match sort of coming together. I think like Dai Ranger and Geki Ranger are very similar themes that I feel like would work really well together. So I think that'd be cool. And they also asked, do you have any Super Sentai crushes? Not really. Necrom002 asks, what other Toku shows have you seen besides the main big 3? I used to do this series back in the day where I'd review like the first episode of some like really old, out of like circulation shows that people would recommend, like Thunder Mask or Lion Maru. But outside of the first episodes of those shows that I made videos on them. I'll probably link them somewhere here too. I've never really seen anything outside of the big 3. They also ask, which Rider show do you think is underrated and overrated? I really feel like Wizard is underrated. I think it's a good show. I understand why people don't care for it, but I really do think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. I think overrated is X8. I think X8 is such an overrated show. I do not understand why people like X8 as much as they do. What is your Super Sentai and or Kamen Rider Mount Rushmore? That's a good question. I'm gonna do Sentai, because I feel like Sentai is easy. I'll do both. Takeru, Marvelous, Momoi Taro, and Taya. Might be recency bias there. And then for Rider, we're gonna do Yusuke, Genta, Eiji, and Ace. Yeah, I like that. I like that answer. Lap Productions channel asks, what season or character of any Toku did you relate to most? I feel like I related to Jiraiya a lot when I watched Kaku Ranger. Favorite ice cream flavor? Vanilla. What civilian fit is your favorite from both Sentai and Rider? I think Shin has a really good outfit. I think I just really like bomber jackets, like the Go on Wings characters. I think they have really cool bomber jackets. Would you rather learn swordsmanship from Shinken Red or marksmanship from Kyoryu Black? Swordsmanship, Shinken Red. Easily, no question. Xenon Omega asks, what got you into Toku? It's Power Rangers. If you had your own Geats OC, what would it be? I saw this question before and I thought about it a little bit. I thought of the idea of like doing the name kind of like how Tycoon is just like it's like raccoon but kind of made to sound cooler. Like it's kind of like a mashup of Tanuki and raccoon, I guess. I think like Spark, but it's like shark, right? Just like a cooler sounding name for like a shark themed rider. And you'd have like again, I wish I could draw. You could have the fins, and that would make the mask, right? And then like the rest is what it is. For my own buckle, just make it monster. I feel like I had an idea for like a cool one, and maybe like called it like vampire or something, where you press on the teeth of the vampire. Again, it's so hard for me to verbalize this without drawing it, but like you'd press on the teeth of the vampire and pull out, and like bat wings would pop up. But just make it monster. And what Kamen Rider belts and Sentai changers do you own? I have Double, O's, Forze, and Wizard. I have their belts. I also have the cheap versions of the original Kamen Rider, Deno, and the Kuga belts, because I didn't think that not really interested in dropping a bunch of money on that for no reason. I have the Q Ranger changer. I have both the Go Buster changers. I have the movie Morpher from 2017. I have the Legacy Power Morpher, and I have the Wolf Ranger Morpher from Jungle Fury for like no reason. I don't even know why I have this, but I do. Oh, and I have a Gabu revolver. Can you make a video about motifs and colors for Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Ultra? Sure, maybe one day. That was asked by Cole Koki 8287. Kai TD5X asks, least favorite Kamen Rider series? Probably Ghost. I know it's like a common answer, but it is. ADHDM asks, when are you gonna cut the crap and start building N-scale railway model towns for your Zord figures to pose in? I know you got that dog in you. You guys know I love miniatures. Big fan of miniatures. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe one day. I don't think I'm like artistically inclined enough. I'm not good enough with my hands to do that. Baudry Kid asks, what other content do you want to do? Doesn't have to be Toku. I thought about the idea of doing like a live, like the same sort of style I did the live man video in, but for like the Ninja Turtle series, like each of the Ninja Turtle series, and like going over all of them and like kind of make like a multi-part thing where I go over each of the main like 4 Ninja Turtle shows. I thought about making a Ninja Turtle channel a few times. All right. Like, I don't know. If I were to post Ninja Turtle videos to this channel, would people watch them? I've thought about it so many times. This is the one thing that I'm like, could I make Ninja Turtle videos? Is there enough of a crossover between Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles for like me to upload Ninja Turtle related videos? Like, would that work? Would people rock with that? I don't know. Tev, the press by guy something, asks, how do you feel about a Go Ranger special for the 50th anniversary? I think that'd be cool. I think a 50th anniversary Go Ranger special would be cool. Maybe in the style like Shin Kamen Rider. I'd really like that. For another question, which Super Sentai teams would theoretically have the best video games if Toei actually did Sentai games like Kamen Rider? I think Dawn Brothers lends itself to that idea really nicely because there's a variety of different body types and features that each of those team members have, so they'd make for a bunch of very interesting different play styles. The Gal Rangers kind of fight like their Zord, so that could also be another really interesting one because they'll have very specific like weapons and movements, so that could be cool. Hongo or Ichimonji? Hongo, easy. And that was asked by the Power Penguin. James Adite 5254 asks, in your opinion, which Toku show hits the perfect balance between storytelling and merch/toy sales potential? Probably Kyoryuger. I feel like Kyoryuger maximized the amount of toys that they could sell while also telling a really good story. I think that's a good answer. White 48 Gamer asks, who's your favorite Sentai and Kamen Rider suit actor? I wish I knew suit actors' names better than I do. I feel like that's the one part of the show I really don't keep up with as much as I would like to. I know Jay on Twitter really likes the guy who did Don Momotaro and Lupin Red, and I think I have to agree with him on that because their action scenes are really good, so I'll give him that. Butt Bumper and Madgo Zaruba ask sort of similar questions about when I'm going to do Metal Heroes or Garo content on the channel, respectively. And honestly, I just don't think there's enough of a market for it, or like enough of a demand for it on the channel, I guess. Like, I've been trying really hard to make Ultraman work, and anytime I do an Ultraman video, it bombs. So it's like, if I were to do Garo or Metal Heroes, I'd have to know that people want it. Like, maybe I might do... I don't know if I ever would. I would have to test the waters a little more. I might do a... If Garo starts fresh, with like a fresh episode 1 anytime soon, I might do a reaction video to it just to like test the waters. Metal Heroes, if something new and relevant comes out, maybe. Golden Thomas 6530 asks a few questions. We got a couple questions. What is your top 5 Zords in all of Sentai? This Thing, Magi King, the Turbo Megazord, or the Turbo Rescue Zords, sorry, Abare Killer Zord, and Don Oni Taijin. Which Super Sentai season do you think had the worst conversion to PR? I think objectively that's Samurai. A lot of people like to talk about how the Neo Saban season sucked because they were trying to make it very close to the Sentai, when that's not at all the issue. Because like, if you made Gokaiger 1-for-1, people would not hate Megaforce the way they do. If you made Gokaiger 1-for-1 and you just adapted the episodes that had to do with like the post Zyuranger seasons, people would not be as mad at that show as they are. Or like if you made Dino Charge 1-for-1 to Kyoryuger, people would freak that out. That'd be great. A lot of people were saying that 1-to-1-ness was sort of the issue in Neosaban seasons, when really like it was only a problem when they did the one time they did it, and the one time they did it was objectively the worst show to do it with, because Shinkenger is so rooted in like Japanese culture and stuff like that, and instead of like going out of your way to like explain that to a Western audience, they just decided to like cast a white dude as the Red Ranger and do really stupid things. I think that is objectively the worst conversion they've ever done, because that was the only time they should not have done a 1-to-1, and it was the only time they did, and it was so dumb. And which do you think had the best? Ironically, MMPR. I think MMPR for all intents and purposes is super seamless, if I'm being honest. It's super seamless, and also like done in a way where like you wouldn't even understand what Zyuranger is if you watched it. If there was a Sentai racing game, would you play it? I'd play any Sentai game. Absolutely. Yokai Fanyan asks, what is your favorite gimmick item in all of Toku? Probably lock seats. I have one clipped on my backpack, and I think it's cool because you could clip a gimmick onto your backpack and wear it with you. I think that's neat. I think they do cool things in the driver. I really like lock seats. Dragoon Smash 1395 asks, do you think Bandai America should take over Sentai adaptations? And do you think Sentai adaptations should, for the most part, keep the theme of the Sentai being adapted? Does Bandai have like a production studio? I don't think they do. So I don't know if I really think it's a good idea for them to do it, really. I think they're just a toy company, unless I'm wrong. I could be very wrong. And I really don't care if we do get Sentai adaptations anymore. Obviously I like them. I understand the show was built on them. I understand that that's like kind of the whole point of what Power Rangers is, and so I would love to see more. But I also understand that the show may have kind of outgrown Sentai. Who knows? But I could take them or leave them, just as long as the show is good, you know? The Golden Mango asks, do you think there is a character that gets unnecessary hate? I think Dax is a little overhated in Overdrive. I don't understand why people dislike him as much as they do. He's not that much different from like Ziggy or Bridge. He's that same type of character, but people aren't ready to have that conversation yet. Melon Arms asks, if you got isekai'd into X-Aid and had to receive a new Gashat, what kind of game would it be based on? So what games do they not have yet? Mine would be Fortnite. Just Fortnite. User BL9PJ5WR3Q asks, Smasher Pass Rita. This is something I've been wanting to mention for like Smasher Pass videos. A lot of people, when I make a Smasher Pass video, think that it'd be interesting to like do one on people, like when they recommend doing more Smasher Pass videos. They're like, hey, could you do it with the King Elder cast or the Dawn Brothers cast? And like, for me, Smasher Pass videos are only fun when the thing that we're smashing or passing is not a person, because then it's funny and it's very obvious that we don't actually want to fuck a stag beetle, you know, or like the Hopper 1. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you get into this weird like objectification sort of thing, and when you're talking about real people, it gets weird. That's why when Markiplier did it, it was funny. Because no, obviously he doesn't want to fuck Pokemon, you know what I mean? When you talk about real people and actors and actresses, it's weird. It gets a little weird. Anakin 2006 asks, do you have autism? This little red thing means that they're subscribed. So I can't tell if this is like a question where like they're like messing with me or not. And I guess best way to answer it is I don't know. I've never been diagnosed. No one has ever had the question of me having autism. Like, obviously I have like a special interest, and I'm a little interesting socially sometimes, but I feel like a lot of people in Gen Z are, so I don't know if that's specific to me. I don't know. It's best way to answer that. Technoblade 2IM asks, if you had to pick a Red Ranger, which Red Ranger is it? I'm picking Nick. Ryzen Salvador 4777 asks, what do you think the next Super Sentai will be about? I know you're asking what it'll be about, like a theme, but I'm going to give you exact title. I'm going to give you an exact title right now, because I think that'd be funnier, is if I got the exact title. All right, so Ocean in Japanese is Kaio, and I feel like that kind of rolls off the tongue like Kaito or Keisatsu, or like Kaizoku, right? Kaio, Ocean Sentai, Kaio Sentai, Waveman. Kaio Sentai Wave. That's a fire name. That's a fire fucking name. Kaio Sentai Waveman. Mark my fucking words. That's the next Sentai team. It's the next Sentai team. Judai Yuki 2156 asks, what is your favorite Final Form theme? It's the one from Wizard. I like that song a lot. Or Spinning Wheel is pretty good. At Riptide on Twitter asks what my favorite Final Form is, and so does the Sith Cynic 3398. My favorite Final Form probably has to be Build Genius in terms of design. I think it's really cool. My first one that's gonna have like a heart, like a place in my little heart, because it was my first, would have to be Cosmic States. And I also really like the episode and suit for Infinity. A nerd with a mic. What's the Sentai season that you feel was adapted the worst into PR? Oh, I just answered that with a different guy. I should have put you guys on the same slide. I'm so sorry. I'm Omega DV6YF asks, what favorite monster motif / theme of any Toku show is your favorite? Favorite motif? I really like ninjas, man. I know I'm a weeboo. I really like ninjas. I think they're cool. Your man Cameron. If you had the choice, would you watch every episode of Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad? Yes. I'd love to watch it. I don't see why not. It's a chill show. Jasmine GoBuster 3847 asks, what's your favorite female villain in Super Sentai? I forget her name, but it's the one that Dayu was based on. Who was she? Oh, her name literally is Dayu? Yeah, it's Dayu. Okay. Iron America. I should have put you on the same slide as the other Iron America questions. A lot of shows and movies get the rights to use songs in their projects. Which song would you want to see in a Power Ranger use in a reboot? Just like Turbo, they should do a movie for the Boom Boomger adaptation for the first episode, and it should have Baby Got Brap by T-Pain as the main theme. Dino 4803, favorite Kamen Rider plot. It's either Gaim or Build. I'm gonna go Gaim, just because I feel like Build is overstated. It's not overrated, but it's overstated as being really good. So I'm gonna go Gaim for now. Deoxy360, I see you all the time on the channel, man. Shout out to you. Love you. I really enjoyed the Live Man video. What other Toku series or non-Toku series would you do another long form essay on? I have a few. Like I said, I think I mentioned earlier that I wanted to do it like Ninja Turtles. I have them written on a list. I think I want to keep it to older Sentai for now, because I just think that's more fun, because they're not talked about as much. But I also have plans to do another long form video by the end of this year about a certain show that's very personal to me, but it's gonna take some time, obviously, and I don't want to give it away yet, but you'll know when you see it. Madogu Zaruba and Anthony Taylor on Twitter ask, shows that you watch other than Toku, or what other types of entertainment are you interested in? I'm a big fan of the Mets. There was a while there where I was really into UFC, not so much anymore. I really like Ninja Turtles. I really like Pokemon. I really like retro games in general. Not so much like modern games. Not like a modern gamer, but like retro games and retro game consoles. I really like Charlie Brown. I don't really like Marvel and DC that much, as I just really like Spider-Man and Batman, if I'm being very honest. Trying to think like what other things. I really like old sitcoms like Sanford and Son, One Day at a Time, All in the Family. I really like, like Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Family Matters, Fresh Prince, like Boy Meets World. I could go on and on. I love old sitcoms. I really love old sitcoms. I would say those are probably like my biggest interests outside of Toku. I like rap music. Yeah, I think that's main. Luna Moonlight Howling 666. What would you think if a big budget Western Kamen Rider reboot, if done correctly? I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to see how someone would like interpret it in the West. That'd be cool. I want to ask if you watched any series made by P Productions. It's a great combination of wackiness and awesomeness. What is P Productions? Are they like an anime studio? Or like... Oh, they're like a... I've heard of Lion Maru. I've heard of Lion Maru. I've heard of Jaguar Man. I've heard of Spectra Man. I should check these out. I think they'd be cool. What's your favorite suit from Kiva? I haven't seen Kiva, so I don't really know. I really like Kiva's base form though. And that was asked by Rider Crusader 01 Julian 65. Adam Alters VU3CS says, do you think Ultraman is less popular than Rider or Sentai? I know for a fact it is in the fandom. In the fandom, it is less popular. I think outside of the fandom, normal everyday people out on the street are more likely to recognize Ultraman than they are Sentai or Rider. I think in the fandom, Ultraman is less popular, if that makes sense. Like commercially, like mainstream audience, Ultraman is more popular, but in the Toku community, Sentai and Rider are more popular. Like Ultraman's more well known, if that makes sense. D Harvey Infinity 3, sup man, I love you. You're always in the comments. Thank you for being around this long. If you had a chance to create your own Tokusatsu series, which franchise would be the inspiration? We kind of answered this earlier, but I think like my own like personal Tokusatsu series, I really don't have any ideas of what I would want to do. I think all of them really, like Sentai and Rider and Ultraman. I think I would take my favorite parts of each one if I were to ever want to make that endeavor one day. Toku North asks, which Ultraman would you want to host for? I think Blazar's cool because he's like nonverbal. I think that'd be neat. I feel like we'd have like a cool understanding, me and him. Narrow 6499 asks, what's your favorite Ultraman design? Ginga. My girlfriend asks, are you single? And I told her no, because we're dating. Canadian Tokusatsu asks if I wanted to be friends or mutuals with him, and I sure. I try my best to like respond to most DMs, or like if I see someone a lot on Twitter, I try to follow them back. And then he also asks what my hopes are for Playmates toys. I have no hopes. I really don't. I just want it to be fun. I just want to see toys again. I want some life back in the brand because I feel like this brand is just sitting on a shelf somewhere doing nothing. It's just rotting and decomposing as we speak. Media guy Zelkov says, what's your favorite sword in Tokusatsu? I like the Quasar sabers, the little spin sword from Shinkenger is cool. Brokusatsu asks, when are we gonna collab? When either of us have an idea that's worth collabing for. I'm bad at making collab ideas, I'm not gonna lie. Xenon Omega asks, cowboy profile lore? It is my face photoshopped over Jiraiya from Kaku Ranger, if you've never seen it. He's the Black Ranger in that show. Jam Jampy and Kamen Tyler ask, what's your favorite Toku insert song in general? Spinning Wheel is one of my favorites. I really like Spinning Wheel a lot. I really liked Watch Your Fire the first time I heard it, and then they kept playing it, so I really don't know if I like it as much or not. And I really liked Infinity's song. Shady Boy asked if I ever seen Kamen Rider Agito, and I have not, unfortunately. I hate to inform you, but I hope to someday. Guess Duck Guy asks, what's your most hated opening in Tokusatsu in your opinion? I don't think there's like a theme I really dislike. They normally slap. I don't think I'm a fan of X8s, if I'm being honest. Vaughn asked 2 questions. He says, if you were to make a TokuTuber or Toku influencer Sentai team, we're gonna go Sentai team because I feel like that's more fun. What would they be and why? It'd be me and the Legion of Boom, and yeah. And then he also asks, which 3 Toku characters would sing a mean Miss New Booty? One of them has to be Bubba Sparks, and the other 2, the Yin Yang twins. Bubba Sparks would be Ramirez. The Yin Yang twins would be probably the Kamen Riders from Double. Sentai 5, another Legion of Boom member. What's a meal/food you've seen in Tokusatsu show that you would love to eat? I really want to see what the fuck is up with Rainbow Jaruria, if I'm being real. Jacob asks, is it big? No. Do you think any of the big 3, Sentai, Rider, or Ultra, or any other series, have gotten stale? If so, what are some aspects you think are dated or would change? I'd like to see the like drama aspect of Heisei Rider come back, or yeah, like early Heisei or even later Heisei Rider. I feel like Rider's just slumping in terms of story. I feel like I haven't like watched a Rider story that I liked in a while, and Rider used to be the story show, so I feel like that I would like to see a good story from Rider again. Boone John, another Legion of Boom member, has Dream Fortnite collaboration. Power Rangers obviously be cool because I can make content. Dream Fortnite collaboration will probably be with Full House. I really want to fuck shit up as Danny Tanner. Este, shout out to Este, says, what's your top 5 Kamen Rider gimmicks? Este, I have a script for this. We're gonna have to wait because I don't want to ruin that video either. I have a script written for it. We're gonna have to wait. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Ian Animations asks, favorite Sentai mech as a toy? It's this thing. And then also, what things you want Kamen Rider to prove on in the future? I've already answered that question. I don't mean to skip you over, but I kind of have answered that question. I guess to give you another Sentai toy mech, I really want to get a Titan Robo or Titan Megazord. Sorry, one of these days, because I think that's such a cool toy. CJ Frice asks, which Tokusatsu character's outfit do you want to own? Shin's. JX Williams, favorite Toku that isn't Ultra Rider or Sentai? Probably Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, honestly. If you could have any rider motorcycle, which would you have? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Probably I like doubles the most. I think that's the coolest one that wouldn't get a ton of heads looking at me. You know what I mean? And they also ask go-to gas station snack. If they have a soft pretzel, I try to go for that. Or a bacon, egg, and cheese. Cat Girl Switchy asks, do it clap? Yeah. Anyways, thanks for 10,000 subscribers. And hopefully, you know, we can keep doing this. Now that we're at the end of the video, I want to ask, we're very fastly approaching 15,000 subscribers, and I would like to ask what people would like to see for a 15,000 subscriber special. If it's even worth celebrating. Is 15K a number that's like worth celebrating at this point, or is it just like silly to keep doing this? Like, should I hold off until we hit like 50,000, or like if we ever, I don't know if we'll ever hit 50,000, but you know what I mean? Like, should I wait? Should I not do is 15K too small a number to celebrate right now? You know, let me know. And if so, what would you like me to do? And also feel free to answer any of the questions that I answered in this video, because I think it's fun to see other people's opinions. Anyways, I will talk to you next week. Bye.